Hello, this is Mad Cat, and I just got out of the shower, and it's at that phase with my hair where nothing I can do, it'll just like. And someone commented on my beard here, and I really, really want to shave all of this off and kind of start over, but I lost my clippers. I actually brought clippers with me, and they remained in my bag for the longest time. But what I think happened, because the shelter I was staying at required that I remove all of my stuff outside on a dirty ass table that they don't ever bother cleaning off, that somehow I took my clippers out and they possibly fell on the ground and I didn't realize it. Because that's the only explanation I can think of right now as to why I don't have my clippers anymore. Because they were in my bag for the longest time. I remember being at the shelter and seeing my clippers. So, it kind of pisses me off. But, you lose shit. What are you going to do about it? So, I also did a video about Star Trek Discovery. I did 3 separate videos on it, discussing why I hated Star Trek Discovery. And whatever reason, my phone decided it didn't want to save the video. And it was a 30-minute video. I did it 3 fucking times. And I don't know. It was just too much for my phone, I guess. But today, I'm just kind of doing a recap of, I've been watching Louder with Crowder. And I don't agree with everything he says, but I enjoy watching him because he at least tries to demonstrate his points. Sometimes. Or actually most of the time. I'll give him credit for that. I don't always agree with his conclusions, though, but, that's the great thing about watching Crowder. He doesn't care if I agree with him. I just give him props for, at least attempting to demonstrate his points. Most of the time. Sometimes he doesn't, or maybe it's cut off before he actually does because he's trying to truncate it for YouTube. But, I've just been kind of catching up on some things, and that's an interesting part, going from being homeless to sort of not being homeless anymore. I mean, I'm living with my girlfriend now, and we're still trying to figure it out, but it's not even been a week off the streets yet. But we're making it. We neither of us really have a whole lot of money right now, so we're just making do with what we have. And the money that I've gained from my GoFundMe, PayPal, things like that, I mean, that helped me throughout my time being homeless. So, and then I used the last bit of it to help me with this new life. I mean, it is so great having meals every single day, actual meals, being able to eat, whenever I want to, being able to sleep whenever I need to. Being able to hey, I want a candy bar, having that freedom. I don't buy candy bars all that often, but, it's just just knowing that I can. There's just that freedom there. And, and while we're living in a studio apartment right now, well, yeah, it's an apartment. I love it. I love it. But, going back to talking about Steven Crowder, taking a knee. I knew about a lot of these issues, but I didn't really know them in depth. Like the whole taking the knee issue. What else did I see today? His underground investigation into Antifa, which doesn't surprise me, but him talking to some official at the university who played stupid. It's so sad. Just got done watching about Betsy DeVos appeal basically Title IX, which is fantastic. I did hear about that as well. And then last night I heard about the Vegas shooting. I don't even know when the Vegas shooting happened precisely. I guess it happened yesterday or something. And I don't know if this is true, but apparently Tom Petty died. I'm sure if it's not true, then someone's going to comment. It's like, no, it's not true. You need to go look up Google. Learn to use Google to look up if things are correct or not. Yeah, because it's that easy to look up if something is correct. Given that Google is so left-wing that you couldn't even find information on Trump in the search bar. You know, it's not always easy to get the truth, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm trying to catch up right now. I would love to come back and start doing videos again. I'm probably not going to return until December or January. And the reason being is I have a laptop, it has a webcam on it. I don't think the microphone is very good. And I don't want people to have to strain to hear me. I haven't really spoken to Modern Medusa. I don't know if me returning to do a show is going to have her be a part of it. Certainly I enjoyed having her as a co-host. Apparently she started a new show, so be sure to check that out if you haven't. I'm amazed that I still have like 550 subscribers, although certainly I've lost a few. I think I was at like, 565, 570, and then I just started losing. But, you know, it's okay. I'm not really making the same quality videos I have been. Ooh, sweet. So, it's just so weird trying to play catch-up to this world where in some ways it doesn't feel like anything has really changed. It's still kind of the same bullshit, but at the same time, so much has happened. And certainly I heard about the hurricanes and all of that in Texas and in Florida. I mean, that's kind of hard not to hear about that. But, of course, you don't hear about all the minutia that's really out there. The actual things happening out there. You hear everything with a heavy hand of the left trying to spread propaganda about what's happening. You know, the one thing that I did hear about was the whole statue teardown. Because I was in Philadelphia when that happened, that there were protests, and a lot of people were talking about it. I always thought it was interesting that while I was in the shelter, there was a lot of anti-Trump talk, but that was only by the people who was running the shelters. You know, the actual people in the shelters, yeah, there was still some anti-Trump talk, there was still some white hate thrown around. But then there were black individuals who were like, yeah, I support Trump. I support everything he does. And, you know, the left would have you believe that that doesn't happen. Now, certainly I have black friends who don't necessarily support Trump, but certainly are in the know of everything that's going on. But, I mean, to actually hear, like, someone who's on the street and Trump is talking about repealing Obamacare, and you'd think that someone who's homeless would be very scared. It's like, well, I don't want Trump taking my money away, which it wouldn't happen, but I've heard people like think that. But you know what's also interesting, and I'll just throw this tidbit out there, that you know, I was talking to a friend, sort of friend, in the Detroit mission, and I was telling him, you know, one of the things that surprised me about Detroit, because in Philly I talk about all the white hate that I got. I mean, no one called me like, you fucking cracker, you ruin our country. But certainly I heard like, oh yeah, it's the white man keeping the black man down. Even though I'm sitting right there, and they have no problem talking about how much they hate white people. But then someone looks at me and it's like, oh no man, you're cool, you don't need to worry about it. And I'm like, I don't fucking care one way or the other. But I did not experience that at all in Detroit. Could there have been people who hated white people running their mouths? Sure. But they didn't do it in front of me. And I thought that was quite interesting. And someone's like, you know what, here in Detroit, people just don't have time for that. You know? And my girlfriend, she's always telling me how diverse of a place that Detroit is. Certainly in Detroit, I've seen a lot more Muslim women. And I know that because they're wearing the hijab. I mean, I don't know if I've seen Muslim men, and I guess you're not allowed to say, oh, I've seen a lot of Muslim men around here. Well, how do you know they're Muslim? Well, they're brown skin, they have big beards. Like, that doesn't mean they're Muslim. So all I can confirm is I've seen Muslim women. Because I don't think anyone would disagree with me that a girl with a hijab is Muslim. Because anyone who's... Well, that's not true. I did know a girl who did wear hijab even though she wasn't Muslim. And I really don't know why she wore it. I don't know if it was for a political reason or if there was some actual logical reason behind it. I don't know. But, yeah, I see a lot of diversity here. But again, I was at the college, so of course there'd be diversity there. But, you know, I don't know. I think I'm just going off on tangents right now. Yeah, I'm just trying to play catch up right now. I do want to come back and do shows. Hopefully I can get a microphone. I do have my snowball back in Philly, or near Philly. And Jen, my girlfriend, talks about wanting to go back there to get all of my stuff. And I really don't want to burden my former roommate with keeping my stuff there. I'd like to get that as soon as possible. I'd also like to get all my stuff from Arizona. So, and like the stuff I have in Arizona, it would be wonderful to start a life with. Because, you know, I've got a crock pot there. Well, I do have a crock pot here. They were having a special sale on them. Can you believe they make 8-quart crock pots? I thought 7 was the biggest, but they make 8. I didn't get an 8, I got a 7 because it was cheaper, but wow. I'm waiting for them to make a 10-quart one. That'd be awesome. Anyways, deviating. But, you know, I have, like, a lot of plates, cups, silverware, or flatware, rather, because it's not actual silver. But flatware... Why do they call it flat? None of it is flat except the butter knives. Sorry, I'm kind of going out of frame here. So, yeah, if I could get that stuff and come up here, we would have, like, such a great start with that. So, my GoFundMe is going to be going down. We're going to leave it up for another week. Trying to help me with initial supplies, maybe... if I can get enough money, I would like to buy some clothes. I've gone to the local Goodwill, but I mean, I just don't have the money for that. It's either food or clothing, so I chose the food because, I mean, you could eat clothing, but then you'd have nothing to wear. And while I don't mind going around naked, there are a lot of people who would prefer that I be clothed. Because, well... me, for example, I don't want to be a registered sex offender for walking around naked. I am getting my freelance off the ground, though. Good news there is, like, Monday, I put out a lot of bids. I probably put out 20 bids. And I have to, basically, I'm a contractor. I send out a bid and, like, hey, you know, I would be wonderful for this project. And hope I hear back. And I did hear back from 1. Out of 20, I got 1 back. And I had an interview today. Within 24 hours of starting with bids, I got an interview. And the guy liked me. And I'll keep you updated as far as that goes. But I'm hitting my 15-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and end this now. As I mentioned, my GoFundMe is still live right now. You can always donate to my PayPal, or you can buy my book, or donate to my Patreon. I'm hoping to start doing videos a lot more often, but I'm still regulated to doing it on the cell phone. I'm going to test out my laptop, But the other thing that worries me about doing that is we're using the hotel's wireless. And of course, that's going to limit the amount of bandwidth that I can do for doing live videos. So, I mean, it may not just be a microphone issue, it could actually be a bandwidth issue. Ooh, and I just surpassed the 15-minute mark. Anyways, this is Mad Cat signing off.